What's poppin', yo? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we are taking a look at Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Fowl, which came out on Christmas Day. And because we are taking a look at April Christmas, you know, Springmas this April, I thought it'd be pretty cool to take a look at some of the stuff that came out around Christmas time. We've already taken a look at some of the other Christmas stuff, but I thought it would be pretty interesting to take a look at this Wallace and Gromit thing. It didn't feel like a Christmas show, but it did come out on Christmas, so I'm counting it. And this is the newest movie from Wallace and Gromit, and I didn't think it was going to be a full-fledged movie. I thought it was going to be a half an hour short, but no, this is a hour and 20-minute long special, which is called Vengeance Most Fowl. You can watch it on Netflix from January 5th, I do believe. And you can also check it out on other platforms like the BBC iPlayer. It has an 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb and a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is a comedy adventure show and came out in 2024. Gromit's concerned that Wallace has become over-dependent on his inventions proves justified when Wallace invents a small gnome that seems to develop a mind of its own. So how the story really goes is Wallace and Gromit wake up in their humble of homes, and, you know, Wallace wakes up with his inventions that get him dressed, get him out of bed, get him washed, and make him his breakfast. And Gromit then is a little bit fed up with these machines because they are being used all the time. They're being used to take over his entire life. He has a Pat-O-Matic, so instead of Wallace giving him a head pat, a head scratch, which all owners should do, a machine does it, which doesn't make Gromit feel the nicest. So he goes to his garden to try and relax, sort of do his hobby, and then Wallace comes out and is like, "Brother, I got a fucking gnome for you, and it's gonna do the hard work for you." And the gnome does the hard work, and then everyone's like, "Yo, we want your gnome. Does he come for hire? I want him to make our gardens look spectacular." Wallace is like, "Sure fucking thing." The gnome then gets hijacked by the penguin, which is being held prisoner in the zoo because the guards were watching on TV, and this was a news report on the TV. He then hacks into the gnome, makes the gnome make more gnomes, and they go steal stuff from other people's gardens when making it much, much nicer. And everyone pins it on Wallace, everyone blames it on Wallace, the police go after Wallace, the news go after Wallace, and the gnomes make a submarine in Wallace's house, goes underground, through the sewers, up into the zoo, picks him up, goes back to Wallace's house. Gromit is then running around looking for them, because Wallace is very upset because the police took all of his machines away for evidence. And the police then go to have a grand opening of the Blue Diamond exhibit in the museum to find out that it was a radish. Guess what? The Blue Diamond never actually left Wallace's house in the first place. They all blame Wallace. The penguin goes, grabs it from the teapot, which was a very big focus in this show. Very big focus on how Gromit was feeling, saying how, how he wanted some, actual something to do rather than rely on all these machines. So he goes and stops this guy with a boat chase through the North Yorkshire rivers, and he almost dies by falling off a bridge. He does an old switcheroo by shoving the diamond up his ass because there's legitimately no other place he could put it, and gives the bag with the radish in it to the penguin, who then gets away and feels very defeated when he doesn't get the diamond. They then go home and live happily ever after, and Wallace is more open to doing more manual labor than robotic labor. Other than that, that's pretty much it. That's the story as quickly as I could do it, and I'm going to be honest, it is a stop-motion animation. It is made by Aardman, it is made fully with clay, and it looks phenomenal. It feels phenomenal. It's so smooth and so beautiful that you can't even tell that it's stop-motion. And they've got so good at making these stop-motion characters, these stop-motion movies, that it is so fucking good. I'm gonna be honest, it is so fucking clean, it's so smooth, and these are some iconic characters in British TV, and we have all just witnessed the biggest supervillain to ever return onto British television, which is Feathers Macaw, which is the penguin, if you wasn't familiar with it. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I really enjoyed it. I loved how expressive Gromit is. He's been like this throughout the entire series, throughout the entire line of movies, shorts, specials of Wallace and Gromit, but Gromit has never said a word, and he is my absolute favorite because he's so expressive. He doesn't have a mouth, he has eyebrows, right? And he's so expressive with his body language, his posture, his eyebrows, his facial movements, that you can tell how he's feeling and what he's up to at all times. They do such a good job at sort of animating him to make him feel lifelike, but without having him say a word. And that is beautiful. That is peak storytelling. That is such a hard thing to do when storytelling, and they do it with so many characters in this sort of franchise that they have going on. With Shaun the Sheep, they have it with this penguin, with Feathers Macaw, they have it with Gromit, and there was a Deadpool fucking and Wolverine level cameo in this with the farmer from Shaun the Sheep. I just mentioned Shaun the Sheep and it popped into my head, but holy fucking shit. That farmer cameo was sick as fuck. I would have liked a Shaun cameo, but that farmer cameo was well enough. Okay, it was well enough. It wasn't too much. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was really nice, and I very much enjoyed it. The fucking gnomes genuinely pissed me off with how they were. Like, they just kept repeating themselves. They did become annoying, and it did feel like they were the minions at some points, because they were just like evil cronies. They were all the same, and they all said these stupid little lines. It did give me minion vibes, but it is still okay, and they did serve their purpose. They're a one-off character. I don't think they'll come back. However, they did leave it open for Feathers Macaw to come back, which is one of the most iconic characters in Wallace and Gromit. I do feel like this sequel is good, but I don't think they should rely on Feathers Macaw much more. I don't think they should make any more specials with him in, because I feel like they've used him now. I feel like they've used him twice, and if they use him again, it will fall very flat. It will fall very the same. This was highly appreciated and highly sort of talked about all over British sort of media, all over British Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Like, everybody loved Feathers Macaw's return, but I feel like if they continue down this path and use him again and again and again, it will get stale, it will get boring, people won't, as, you know, respect it as much, people won't come back to it nearly as much, people won't really care for it as much, because you're doing it again and again and again. And I don't want Wallace and Gromit to fall under this trap of sort of having flop after flop because they keep using Feathers Macaw as their main villain. Yes, it is good to use Feathers Macaw because it saves on budget-wise, because you can reuse assets from before, because again, all these characters are made of clay, they're all little characters, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just saying, you know, use him sparingly. Don't rely on him as a crutch, because you spend like a lot of effort, a lot of time and effort is put into making these shorts and these specials and these movies, so relying on one character too much can cause it to fall flat and cause it to fall under. I'm gonna be honest, I never really cared for Feathers Macaw. I never really cared for him. His return was very good. It was a very dastardly plan, it was a very devious plan, and I think it was a really nice conclusion, and how it brought it back to the first time Feathers Macaw was introduced. They kept making callbacks, they kept doing flashbacks, they kept bringing it back to when he was first introduced, and I do like that. They're keeping true to the original story and sort of showing how these sort of new plot lines do get implemented and how they do come into play from the first one and how it all was set up from the first one. I think that's really clever and quite hard to do in some cases, where you try and make a sequel based on the first one and have to try and put things into place to make this second one. Because I don't think they made the first one with the second one in mind when it comes to Wallace and Gromit, but if they did, fucking props to them, because that is fucking 4D level chess that these guys are playing. Like, holy fucking crap, that is next level shit. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. I do much prefer Curse of the Were-Rabbit in terms of Wallace and Gromit movies, and I do also prefer another one, which I can't remember the name of. I do feel like it is in the top 3, though, for Wallace and Gromit. Animation has definitely got a lot better, character design has got a lot nicer, and also voice acting is a lot clearer. Again, as technology's improved, this show has improved over time as well, and I absolutely love Wallace and Gromit. I think I have some Wallace and Gromit product reviews coming soon, so do stay tuned for that. I do believe it's a solid 8 out of 10. I don't believe it can get any higher than 8 out of 10, because, you know, I do have my other favourites. It is good, a lot of hard work went into it, but it isn't the best that Wallace and Gromit has done. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. Hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. If you do want me to review any of the movies, TV shows, animes, please do let me know down in the description below, and I'll get on it as soon as possible. And also, please do bear in mind that I do have a 3-month backlog of videos, so I'm making these videos 3 months in advance, so do be wary of that it might take a little bit longer for me to bring out a video that you do, that you did recommend. So, bye.